All right, guys, we gotta talk about the View. We gotta talk about the View. They are going to talk about uh, a controversial speech that an NFL player gave at a graduation for a Christian school. And he got a bunch of backlash, and because of what he said about what the woman's role are, and having babies and being a homemaker and all that stuff. So which is all good. He's a Christian. That's what his belief is and all that stuff. But of course, the View has to make commentary about this. But this is kind of weird because Whoopi kind of uh, s- uh, who should lose her shit usually doesn't lose her shit and actually sides with the NFL player. But without further ado, let's listen to the View and see what these chickens have to say.
Graduation season all over America, and Super Bowl winning Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker delivered a commencement address at Benedictine College in Kansas that has sparked quite a petition because they want to get him booted from the team. Take a look.
I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now about to cross this stage and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I'm on this stage today and able to be the man I am because I have a wife who leans into her vocation. All of my success is made possible because a girl I met in band class back in middle school would convert to the faith, become my wife, and embrace one of the most important titles of all, homemaker.
So the NFL released a statement.
So did you hear the crowd clapping loudly, and then the audience of the View, they're like, ooh.
He gave this speech in his personal capacity, and they do not, the NFL does not share his views. So, listen, I like when people say what they need to say. He's at a Catholic college. Yeah. He's a staunch Catholic. These are his beliefs, and he's welcome to them. I don't have to believe him.
Right.
I don't have to accept them. The ladies that were sitting in that audience do not have to accept him. The same way we want respect when Colin Kaepernick takes a knee.
Right.
We want to give respect to people whose ideas are different from ours because the man who says he wants to be president, you know who?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? The difference is Colin Kaepernick was protesting, was wearing socks that shows the cops as pigs, was kneeling during the national anthem. He was an activist. This guy is not an activist. Okay? He was not acting as an activist. He was giving a speech, and commencement speech is based on someone's personal view and personal experiences. And that's what they do during these speeches, basically motivating these children who are coming out of college, graduating from college, to basically entering the adult world of where the reality is going to hit them in the face. And he's absolutely right. Not all the graduates are going to be successful. Not all of them are going to, achieve their dream or their goals. A lot of them might turn out to, not, well, a lot of them will not get to where they want to be, which is sad, but reality, right? Because they give them false promises. That's the problem. They are giving them false promises. You go to college, get educated, and you're gonna have the best job in the world. You're gonna be rich. You're gonna be comfortable. You're gonna have a good life. Blah 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 blah. These are all false promises. Not everyone's meant to go to college. Not every woman is meant to be a CEO of a successful company. Not every woman is meant to be a mother or a wife, for that matter. That's just the truth of the reality. Okay, and for them to try to say, oh, they're comparing to uh, they're comparing to Kaepernick, and it's not the same. That piece of crap was an BLM activist. That's what he was doing. You can't compare the two.
He says the way to act is to take away people's right to say how they feel. We don't want to be that. We don't want to be those people. So I'm okay with him saying whatever he says, and the women who are sitting there, if they take his advice, good for them, they'll be happy. If they don't, good for them, they'll be happy a different way. Well, that's my attitude.
So I agree with you, and I disagree with you.
That's okay.
So I agree with you that freedom, in the spirit of freedom of speech, I don't want people shut down or fired for things they're willing to say. Yeah. I will break with you on the comparison to Colin Kaepernick for this reason. Colin Kaepernick was standing up for the rights of many and saying in a social justice moment, this is a reminder that we're not there yet.
That's right. He was an activist. He was not a football player. He sucked as a football player. Sucked. This is why he hasn't been picked.
What this man is doing is not just a devout Catholic. This is someone who's practicing something called the traditional Latin Mass, which is divergent from the majority of Catholics. It's compared to being cult-like and extremist like some religions in the Middle East and Asia. So this is a very extreme religion, and what bothers me about that as a Christian is that when people abuse Christianity, they often not only cherry pick.
She's not a Christian. And I'll tell you why. Because she's pro-abortion. Christianity is not pro-abortion. Christianity has no pro-abortion. They're also not pro same-sex marriage. So she's not a Christian. She's Christian in name only. That's it. Like, she's not a real Christian. She's like Nancy Pelosi.
From the Bible, they misinterpret and lie by omission, by taking out parts that would have explained something a little better. So what I can say to him as a Christian is if you're using this to oppress a people or hold them down, you're not walking with Jesus. If you are using the religion, if you are more obsessed with the religious rituals and practices than you are with the word of Jesus, you're not walking with Jesus. And if you're using it for the judgment of others and as a weapon to beat people down, you're also not walking with Jesus. So I would really encourage him to find the best parts of faith and not diverge into extremist beliefs.
But if this is his belief system, if there are many Catholics who are staunch this way and don't
actually a small percentage go into the Latin Mass.
Wrong. You're wrong. You're only saying that because you're on TV, because you wanna be right, but that's not right. That's not true. A lot of people practice that. I'm an Assyrian. Our traditions go way, way, way back before the Latin Mass, okay? And it's the same way. It has nothing to do with your ideology or anything like that. Um, uh, of course, any religion can be taken to an extreme, and I don't like the fact that it can get to an extreme. I don't support anything that any religion or any group or anything that go to an extreme. This is why I hate cultism. Uh, but she's portraying, because of his belief, he believes that you could be educated and you could be a homemaker. He never said you cannot be an educated individual. His mom is a freaking scientist. She's been a professor for 30 plus years, so he knows how that works. Okay, he knows how that process works. So he doesn't have he's not saying that you should be a homemaker. He's not saying you should be a mother. He's saying you should embrace of becoming a mother and a homemaker, if that's the path you choose to go. Okay, and he even said most of you, not all of you, some of you will achieve your goals of becoming a successful individual, which is a correct statement. Do you think every person that graduates from college is going to be a CEO of a company? If that's the case, man, we have fallen short big time. Something's wrong with the system.
I'm just telling you there are many people who believe this way, and I'm simply saying, rather than write a petition to get him fired because
Don't
this
get him
is
fired.
well, that's what I'm
And
talking
the Pope
about.
discourages it, just so you know, in the Catholic Church, the Pope
But it
diverges
doesn't-
from this belief.
it
But just
doesn't
one
change
thing,
the fact.
if I may add, I don't know if you guys know this, I went to a very religious college,
you
and a
did.
lot of what he was talking about here is largely Christian Catholic orthodoxy, but he steps further by wading into the political. He took a swipe at Joe Biden. He brought up DEI, which has nothing to do with anything I've ever read in scripture.
Yeah.
And then he leaned really heavily into talking about like the ideal man and being a godly man. An example, missed an opportunity to talk about the man who might be the leader of the free world, Donald Trump, and his many shortcomings. And what I found is there were things I agreed with. There was a lot I disagreed with. Galatians tells us the whole of the law is fulfilled as this: love your neighbor as thyself. He chose to target the LGBTQ community. He thought there was a way that you could speak with humility about your beliefs that you stand for, but you can't alienate certain parts of scripture. I have this huge issue.
Well, because the LGBT community has turned into an extremist group. That's why. They've turned into an extremist group. That's exactly why he's talking against them. Once you turn into an extremist group like BLM and Antifa, and you get an inch but you want to take a mile, that's when the issue starts. This is because they have infiltrated the school system. They're going after the kids. They're trying to indoctrinate children for their own advantage. And this is why they have turned into an extremist group. This is why I look at them as an extremist group. You want to be part of the group? Be part of the group. Don't come after the kids. You leave the kids alone. And that's the whole thing.
With this trad wife homemaker thing, what a remarkable privilege. If you get to marry an NFL kicker who wins the Super Bowl, you too might get to be a homemaker in this economy. But also, he ignores the Proverbs 31 woman who.
That is also not a true statement. There's a lot of people who don't want to live above their means and still be a single income family home with the wives being a homemaker. I'm a my wife is a homemaker. She's a mother to our kids. She's a great mother. She's a great homemaker, and we're a single income family. So, but what Whoopi's talking about is actually because they are now afraid of the canceled culture, and that's exactly what she's pointing to, the canceled culture, because now they want him to be fired or be removed from the NFL, from the team, and that's what she's talking about. She's like, you can't be canceling people because of their beliefs or what they say. He's not forcing anybody to do anything. She just said it. That's his belief. He portrayed his belief to these kids, and if they choose to accept it, they choose to accept it. If they choose not to accept it, so be it. They be on your way. He's not forcing anybody. BLM forced people to do things. They destructed, they ruined, they burned. Antifa did the same thing. So that's a terrorist group. LGBTQ infiltrated the school system. They started into indoctrinating children. That's an extremist group. That becomes a terrorist group because now you are forcing people to bend the knee to your needs. Same thing ISIS was doing. He didn't do that. He's not doing that. You can't compare him to that. That's not what he's saying. So far left always likes to complain about what the Christians talk about because they have bastardized Christianity, and Republicans have allowed it to happen. This is United States is a Christian country. I don't care what anybody says. It was established on Christian values. But because of liberalism, because of leftism, those values are being bastardized. So, uh, I'm I believe he said what he said. I think what he said was very true. I think the the kids who were at the school, they either took it or they didn't care about it enough. They just walked away. And he's speaking of his own experience, and he's proud of what he has established, and that's it. And that's where it ends. He's not forcing anybody to do anything. But leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think, guys. Let me know if this is how you feel, or this is something that you relate with. Peace out.